context, if we keep the skill games, which are sort of through the Supreme Court judgments and otherwise have received the constitutional protection, the Supreme Court also has said that if it's a skill game, then it should receive constitutional protection under 19(1)(g). That means it should be treated as a trade, and therefore all the activities around that should get that protection, and therefore you cannot really prohibit, though you can allow the states to control the skill games. So basically AIGF is a overall body, and then what they have done, they have formed a skill board. That means the operators who are basically into skill game businesses create a separate board within the AIGF umbrella, and then that board is in charge of the skill games. The long-term goal for this particular body should be to have a central law which sort of controls the skill gaming. This body that is being created by AIGF could form a part of a co-regulation. So basically the law could be light touch regulation followed by the self-regulation, and they coexist, which I think the government of India in different scheme of things has started sort of adopting that model. So if that model is adopted for this industry as well, that should be the long-term goal.
We had online 6 years ago in Denmark. A lot of operators were there offering games to players, and the players had no protection really. We didn't have any requirements for the operators for the games being offered, and that was a huge problem, obviously. So what we did, we sat down and discussed with the industry, learned and listened about the industry, tried to understand where they were coming from, and drew up new legislation for online regulation. It wasn't easy. I was very happy to hear that the skill charter will actually contain very many of the same issues that we dealt with at the time. And so that shows, anyway, that even a small country and a huge country like India have very many things in common when it comes to really wanting to protect players, wanting to protect their citizens. So we had very much the same issues, taking care of problem gambling, setting up requirements for industry. So that's what we did, and we've been running a regulation and licensing regime for online industry also now for 6 years in a very, I would say, very successful way, in the sense that industry decided to stay in the market and obtain a license, and now we have a more legal, safe market for players, and also a very safe and well-functioning market for operators. And by the goodwill of the operators being willing to be in the market, paying tax, taking care of players, they keep out what I would call the bad guys. So actually, it's another way of self-regulation, you might say. It's just helped by regulation and an act. That's just the way we did it. But self-regulation to me is a huge step in the right direction, and I do very much respect that can also be a solution to how to regulate a market.
So the gaming was split, if you want, under different authorities. And at some point the government said no, we have got to bring everything under one authority. So the Gaming Regulatory Authority was created in 2007 with a Gaming Regulatory Act, the GRA. So, and it was then created under the Ministry of Finance, now moved under the Prime Minister's office, because it is a very delicate matter. Gaming, as I think in every part of the world, is a sensitive issue. So whether it's in Mauritius or elsewhere, and that's why it was very important to have an authority to look after. But I'm pleased really when I saw the charter. It's really something that we are still working towards.